a Category 5 hurricane rolling into College Station, and our guest today is confident that not only can Miami win this weekend, they can win the whole thing.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This week is moving by so slowly as we're now 3 days away from the Miami Hurricanes and the Texas A&M Aggies. First time in the college football playoff for both of these teams. I am Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC, and host of Postgame on the Hurricanes Radio Network. And thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're part of the now #1 Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. On this loaded episode, the ACC schedule, football next year, is a complete mess, but we can tell you who Miami's going to be playing a season from now. We'll talk about this year's Canes and how this team is hopefully built to win the entire thing. It starts with Texas A&M on Saturday. Let's get to those matchups as we bring on our very special guest. He is a 3-time national champion, former Miami Hurricanes center. Kelvin Harris is with us. And Kelvin, I hope I wasn't putting words in your mouth, because you're confident in Miami this Saturday, but you're also confident this team can be hoisting a natty in a couple months.
Yeah, I think of the 4 weeks, the toughest opponent will probably be Georgia. A&M provides a unique challenge because they probably have the best receiving duo we'll see.
Yeah.
Although, Ohio State has Jeremiah and Cornell, they don't take advantage of those guys like A&M does with Craver and Concepcion. And, Concepcion gives you, special teams with it, punts.
Right.
Because.
Right.
But
so go ahead.
I was going to say, but I just think overall, if you look at the teams in the playoffs, we're probably the most complete team. I mean,
what is it about Miami that makes you say we're the most complete team?
We've got a big, strong, athletic offensive line. We've got a big, strong defensive line. Great secondary. We got a game breaker at wide receiver. We got a game breaker at running back, and we have a veteran quarterback who has played in this atmosphere his entire career and in these playoffs. We check all the boxes. Yeah. I think maybe Georgia after us, and I don't know. After that, I would say maybe Oregon, Ohio State. I'm not really sold on Indiana.
Really?
I am sold on their coach, though. I think he is a magnificent coach, and he has done more with less. They got a decent pass rusher. The quarterback, a lot of people he shouldn't have won Heisman. Honestly, I really think Jeremiah Love should have won Heisman.
Really? Even with those 33 yards against Miami?
The guy passed for 2,900 yards. Shador had 4,300 last year. Cam had 4,400 last year.
I think we can agree that if Cam Ward had been born 1 year later and he was playing this season, he would have been a runaway Heisman compared to the rest of these guys.
Not even close. I mean, so, Indiana is a great story, and I really respect Kurt Signetti as a coach because he brought 15 guys from James Madison, and they got a good scheme. But, no, I don't see them running the table.
Well,
I think our toughest challenge would be Georgia.
Yeah. Well, a couple things I want to get into on this matchup on Saturday against Texas A&M because their players, Kelvin, have provided some bulletin board material, right? You think about Trey Zune, the third on the offensive line. He thinks they're going to handle Ruben Bain. He's not concerned. And then the latest one. Let's start with Miami's rushing defense, Kelvin, which has basically virtually shut down everybody they face. 7th-ranked rushing D in the country. A&M running back Ruben Owens was asked yesterday about the challenge against Miami, and he says he doesn't see it as a challenge. He's not worried. Like, he was very outspoken about that. I mean, is Miami going to be able to shut him and then maybe Le'Veon Moss if he plays? And, of course, their quarterback can run too.
Ruben Owens is their version of Mark Fletcher. He needs Le'Veon Moss. For what I'm hearing, Le'Veon Moss is going to play. That's a big deal. And on top of that, someone was telling me that this offensive line might be the most athletic offensive line we face. And I remember before we played Notre Dame, when I did my podcast, I had the Notre Dame beat writer on. He was like, the right tackle for them. Oh, God, he's just an athlete. And you saw how that ended.
Yeah.
So Trey Zune is headed for the same ending as the Notre Dame offensive tackles. And then on top of that, between Trey Zune talking and Ruben Owens talking, I saw yesterday they were talking about, Bain's arms are short. He's going to drop it. And Messidor's got, with his age and his, I'm like, oh, man. So they just fueling the fire.
You played. Is bulletin board material, is that a real thing? Like, how do guys pay as much attention to that as fans do?
Not really. I'll tell you a story. I remember my senior year, we were playing Florida State, and that was a big media week. So they had everybody in there, and we were in a national title race with Washington.
Sure.
So the guy asked me about, what do you think about Washington? And I said, Washington, if they're the fourth best team in the state of Florida, and they'd have a hard time with FAMU if they played them. And Coach Erickson's dad started getting death threats back in Washington. So they called me.
No.
So
death threats over that?
Yeah. So they called me in the office, and Coach Erickson, we were Coach Smith, the O-line coach, is the main one. He said, what the I was like, I meant what I said. I was like, I've watched Florida. I've watched Florida State. They don't beat none of us. Yeah. And they were mad, but they knew I was telling the truth. Now, the FAMU part, I think that's the part
that might have gone a little far.
Yeah. But, bulletin board, no. I mean, you don't, if you need bulletin board material to get up for something like this, then you're playing for the wrong reasons. I mean, I just think those guys are going to be sky high. I mean, you got a 4-game run to be the best team in the country. If that doesn't motivate you, you're not motivatable.
Yeah, no, bar none, no doubt. I want to get on the other side. I want to ask Kelvin how he expects Texas A&M to approach Malachi Toney defensively, and for Miami, Casey Concepcion can do a lot of similar things on the flip side. So you want to keep it locked right here. We are only getting started with 3-time national champ Kelvin Harris on Locked On Canes. Folks, NFL Sundays move so fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting, because you're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. I thought that Bills comeback against the Patriots last weekend was like the perfect live betting moment. It's best when the game starts to shift, guys. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump right into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up, and you can bet things like next touchdown scorers, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen. And thank you so much for making the Locked On Podcast Network #1. And if you're a true diehard Hurricanes fan, the Everyday or All Access tier is built for you. You'll get one-on-one text access with me, all access episodes, an exclusive newsletter, and a 15% off discount to the Locked On merch store. Head to lockedoncanes.supercast.com to join the Everydayer Club and unlock all access. You can also find the link in the show notes below. We're here with three-time national champ Kelvin Harris. All right, so Kelvin, obviously there are so many important players for Miami in this game. I mean, Carson Beck, his experience is going to be a big factor. He has a buzz cut now. He looked very intense and very serious yesterday. How do you expect Texas A&M to approach Malachi Toney to try to limit his impact on this game?
They're probably going to try and blitz us. That's the only way they can, is to force the ball out of Carson Beck's hand quickly. But the problem is Malachi is the safety valve. I mean, they put him in position, with crossing routes and quick out routes to where he gets his hands on the ball. And they'll probably, with bubble screens early on. And I know you were talking about offline how they play the screens well. This is a game where Josh Moore has to show up, I think. And also Elijah Lofton. I think you could see a big game out of him with seam routes up the middle of the field, because if we come out early, throw some bubble screens, to Malachi, they're going to be looking for those. And I tell you, the guy that I think we definitely expect a big game from is CJ Daniels.
Yes.
This is what he came to Miami for. And he has been a big play guy all year when he's healthy and he's back. Keelan Merritt, lace your boots up. Lace your boots up.
Great quote.
He is fired up for this. By the way, his gal is amazing. I mean,
yeah,
that would make you want to lace your boots up. Whoa, young fella. So I don't know if you know this, but they can't cohabitat with the co-eds at Brigham Young. So this,
I do know that. Yeah. So he was probably a little anxious to get down to South Florida.
Can you imagine? You go from not being able to have a girl in your room to having that in your room in South Florida.
It's quite a change.
Man, you talk about an incredible 365 days. He's going to be sky high. I think Keontae Scott may be ready, but if not, Bryce Fitzgerald is a future superstar. We're built, I still remember the first conversation I had with Mario when he first took the job. And I remember it was eye-opening to me because he was like, we're so far behind. I mean, he's cursing. He's like, and he wasn't even talking about on the field. He was just talking about from an administrative standpoint. Now, 4 years later, we have a chance to do something historical. And I think as a fan base, we need to understand that we've stepped up into the stratosphere with Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, where Clemson, even though Clemson's having a bad year, Notre Dame, where the end game is a championship every year.
Yes.
Like they're already preparing for next year. I would not be surprised if the Levitt kid doesn't give us a serious look.
I like that. He's my guy. He's my favorite out of those transfer quarterbacks. But I like the guy from Cincinnati. People think he's going to go to Texas A&M to fall, or Texas Tech because his girlfriend transferred there.
But, went there. Although I'm hearing that I saw yesterday on Twitter, I think the negotiations were breaking down.
Okay. Well, listen, as
Indiana,
I say,
Indiana might be the favorite now.
Oh, okay. Well, I will remind Brendan Sorsby that there are many fish in the sea, and most of them live in Miami. So if you're looking for a new girl, it's
I,
not a bad place to be.
well, he's got a volleyball girl, so I
I know.
mean,
We got a good volleyball team down here. Really good volleyball team.
really good. Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'll tell you what. He's okay. He runs a little bit. Levitt runs a little bit too much for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just think next year will probably be the last year we go into the portal for a quarterback because Coleman and Nickel, they need maybe one more year of seasoning, and then we can just start developing quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple like the Neiman Lawrence kid. I think he's in play. Um, I just think that maybe one more year, but then after that, let one of those two young guys take over. Because,
I agree.
going into the portal every year for a quarterback, I mean, that's you're risking it. You got to start, the quarterback position. I think you got to at least develop one,
Yeah.
and I think next year is probably going to be the last year we have Dawson, so we got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Something I wanted to ask you, given, as a center, going into a loud environment like this can be 110,000 people. What do we do to avoid the false starts, Kelvin? Because I know that's going to be a challenge, the pre-snap penalties.
Well, silent count, and some teams hold hands, and some teams just have the tackles look in. It's tricky because um, the defense can get a bead on how you're snapping the ball because a lot of teams, when the center um, lifts up his head, it's 1,001, 1,002 count. A good defensive lineman will figure out your pattern on when you lift the head up because some guys go 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, and then some guys it's 1,001. But the more you do it, it's easier for the D line to figure out. And then the holding hand thing, that it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough. We will probably do the silent count with the head bob, and that's gonna have Bell and Mawagoa at a little bit of a disadvantage because they gotta look in like that.
Yeah.
And so they gotta look in and they gotta get their head back out. And the defensive end, he's looking at the ball. And then some of them will figure out the head thing and they'll just time it. Now we could get some offsides
Hmm.
because uh, a lot of teams now do silent claps.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'll say this: they've worked on this before this week,
Yes.
but once again, having a veteran quarterback is um, is the key. There is nothing that Carson Beck hasn't seen in his 5 years of actually playing. He's been to Tennessee. He's been to Alabama. He's been in the loudest place. He's been to LSU. I've been to that stadium twice. It's it's okay. It's not LSU.
Right.
He's gonna be fine. It's not Hard Rock at night.
Yeah.
He's gonna be fine. Um, I'm a big Carson Beck fan because I look at the way he plays the quarterback position, and he plays it like a professional quarterback. He had one game where he I can't even well, I take that back. There was one interception against Louisville, the one where he threw this Daniels and he threw it inside.
Yeah.
Um, the last play against SMU should have been the guys played good football. I just
Yeah.
think he gets a bad rap, and I just think he's going to get a chance to get revenge against Georgia, and I think he's going to lead us to the national championship.
Oh, I love that. Are we going to be able to run the ball effectively on Saturday? A&M, their defense is
We
more
run the ball against
vulnerable to the
anybody.
run.
We run the ball against anybody. And if it were me, I would run at Cassius Howell.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, having Gerard Pringle in now adds another level of running game because now you're getting pin and pulls, um, um, getting counters, getting on the outside, and you're making the ends have to think, have to. Some teams force it, meaning they send it back inside, and some teams what they call spill it, or wrong arm it, where they take their outside arm and they force the play to the outside because the force is the corner. Either way, I don't know how Elko is going to play it, but getting Gerard outside is going to open up bootlegs, and I just still think this is going to be the game that we get a big game out of Elijah Lofton, because they're going to be worried about baby Jesus, and I think C.J. Daniels, and also throwing the ball in the flat to Gerard Pringle, that Lofton is going to get lost in the wash. And I think we get at least 2 big plays out of him because he's been playing good the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, he's come alive. Well, when we come back, I want to get Kelvin's prediction for the final score. And we got to look. I don't know what the ACC is doing, but next year is going to be a disaster. You want to keep it locked right here. We're not done yet on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Guys, the holidays are here, and whether you're hosting family, planning the perfect gift, or just trying to keep things simple and delicious, Omaha Steaks is making it easier than ever. From effortless holiday entertaining to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience right to your door. And what makes it even better? With Omaha Steaks, you always know exactly what you're getting. USDA-certified tender steaks, premium proteins, gourmet sides, and decadent desserts that make anyone feel appreciated. Folks, I love how easy it is to gift. It shows up frozen, it's packed beautifully, and it's ready to cook. Steaks are perfectly aged and insanely tender. Guys, it's restaurant level at your home. It's become one of my favorite last-minute gifts because it feels thoughtful without requiring any stress. Guys, save big on gourmet gifts and holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for an extra $35 off. Use our code COLLEGE at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen, and thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. We're joined by Kelvin Harris. All right, Kelvin, I can tell you're going to pick Miami to win, as am I. But what's your final score, and how do you think this one plays out in College Station on Saturday?
Well, we haven't given up more than 24 points in regulation all year.
Yep.
27-20.
I like it.
I mean, I expect Marcel Reese to have a couple of broken plays. And I just, Concepcion and Craver, they're going to get at least one big play piece on us. But for the most part, I don't think they can run the football on us. And I think we can run the football on anyone. So, yeah, 27-20.
I like it. I'm going 31-27 Miami, but I'll take any dub. I'll take 31-3 Miami. I will take any dub that I can get on Saturday.
Well, I think, Elko has done a great job coaching his team, but I think this game means more to Mario. And I don't want to say it doesn't mean a lot to Elko, but if Mario wins this game, it takes some of the elephant off of his back. Now, it's not going to take it all. Because until we win another national championship, and even after that, there's not going to be a let up.
Yeah.
Because if we win this week, it sets up the ultimate get back.
Oh, man. Ohio State, baby.
My high school quarterback went to Ohio State, and he called me yesterday. So his daughter, his oldest daughter, is married to the co-offensive coordinator for Oregon, Drew Merringer.
Oh, wow.
And she called him yesterday, and they were talking. She says, "Miami, they're not going to win. They're gonna get blown out." I was like, "There's no way they're going to beat Ohio State." And I was like, "Okay, okay." She set you up for. I said, cocaine is a powerful drug, but I can't wait for that matchup.
Yeah.
23 years we've been waiting to get that get back. We just got one little small hurdle.
Yeah,
And
that little thing.
I just think that, honestly, this is going to sound crazy. I think it's a destiny to have Miami and Oregon play in the championship.
Yeah, it feels that way, right? Mario versus Oregon. Oh, yeah.
Actually, I'm going to take a step further. This is what I call the Get Back Tour.
Yeah.
Texas A&M is just a warm-up. I mean, they're just collateral damage. But then you go Ohio State,
Georgia for Beck, yeah.
Oregon.
Oh,
And look, I love all three of my national championships, but if he pulls this off, this is the greatest championship in the history of our school.
Yeah. Nobody's ever gone through a gauntlet like that to win a championship.
And I've told a bunch of my friends, if we win this championship, some of y'all are going to block me because I'm going to be unbearable. I'm already unbearable.
You're already borderline, but after a championship.
So the night before Sunday before they did the playoff teams, Corey Simon from FSU is just, he's just texting me, laughing emojis. Oh, what bowl y'all going to this year? Blah, 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 the Cupcake Bowl. Ha, 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 ha.
What bowl are they going to would be my follow-up question.
Oh, hold on, man. About 1 o'clock on Sunday. Oh, man. I have not heard from him since. Crickets. But yeah, we're very close to something historic. And this team is built for it. They're totally different than we are. I was talking about this yesterday with somebody. These kids, they don't go out. They're focused.
Yeah.
I mean, I just hope we can pull it off. I mean, it's for any team, the 12 team, the 4 games, a lot's got to go right.
Yeah.
But man, could you just imagine Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon?
I'm gonna also be insufferable. Like if we can get through this gauntlet, I'm gonna get blocked by some folks as well.
Listen, if we win this, I'm gonna get Bruce a whole new package of diapers and a whole new box of Geritol, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna pay for his new dentures.
Oh man, that's so kind of you to pay for his new teeth.
Because he's been gumming his food lately. I mean,
Oh man.
I mean, what's scary is when you said Bruce thinks we're going to win. That's what's scary.
No, actually, he was a little concerned. He kind of leaned yesterday to Texas A&M winning. He thinks he's going to be. Yeah, you feel a little better now, right? That Bruce he's not sold. He's not sold on Miami winning.
Actually, what really makes me nervous is Manny Navarro is like, yeah, you should win. I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Really? Oh,
like,
man.
We need you to keep being negative. We don't need positivity from you.
Yeah, a funny thing about Manny Navarro is awesome, by the way. He's a great friend, and he does a great job. But I can remember, and he turned out to be right about this one, but 3 years ago, right before Miami played, Middle Tennessee, I remember him saying in the press room, I think Miami's going to lose this game. And I'm like, what? Why are you putting that in the universe? And then they did lose. So, he was right, but I was still angry at him for even putting that out there.
Well, another thing about this championship, and I'm good friends with Rudy Fernandez, executive vice president, chief of staff, all that school. And I told him last week, I said, this Miami team, what we're doing is so important for the ACC and the Big 12. If we win this national title, we'll have to go through 2 SEC, 2 Big 10 teams. And I think this changes the conversation that the SEC and the Big 10 have, because they just think it's a foregone conclusion that one of them is going to win. And actually, the Big Ten actually thinks they're better than the SEC because
They
they've won a
do.
lot.
Yeah.
And the SEC, and then look, to be honest with you, the SEC, I can be honest, top to bottom is probably the deepest league of the four.
Yeah.
But it's deep because it has a lot of good teams. It doesn't have a lot of great teams. At the top, I think Miami, our team, is best suited. I think the two teams, my two favorite teams to win this championship are us and Georgia.
Yeah.
And will give us a slight edge because of the pass rushers. You know, Mario, and if you think about it, Mario, Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, Kurt Signetti all have one thing in common. Former Alabama assistants.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they've all somewhat taken his blueprint. I think us in Georgia have taken it more so with the line, with the trench warfare, because the one thing that Dan Lanning has a liability in is that there's just not a lot of big athletic people on the West Coast like it is down south.
That's right.
So, and that's why I think SMU is not going anywhere, because there's a bunch of big cattle all over Texas.
Yeah.
So Indiana, I have a lot of respect for what Signetti's done, but I don't know if he can maintain this.
Yeah, I hear you. Last thing I want to get to. So the ACC announced yesterday that they're gonna change their tiebreakers, which they have to do, because how your tiebreakers allow a 7-5 Duke in the ACC championship game. It was criminal. It was criminal. So, but they didn't say what they're gonna do. They announced they're gonna change the tiebreaker. Didn't say how. But here's the thing, like Kelvin, next year is going to be a tiebreaker nightmare because the ACC is transitioning into 9 conference game schedule, but only like 2/3 of the teams are playing 9 conference games. So 12 teams are playing 9.
Because
5
of
teams are,
obligations.
because of obligations, but 5 teams are only playing 8. So there's going to be like a 7-2 conference record that's going to get in over a 6-2 that's like out of the other team. It's going to be a mess next year.
Who are the 5 teams that only play 8 games?
Yeah, so the 5 that only play 8 games are Boston College, Clemson, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina. Those are the ones that only play 8.
The only one, to be quite honest with you, that might cause pause is Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson.
Florida State is done.
They're going to be bad next year again.
Carolina will be better.
Yeah, but not good. They'll be better, but not good.
And who'd you say the other ones? Wake Forest?
Boston College, they're not going to be good. And who was
Wake Forest?
More? No, Boston College. Georgia Tech is the other one. They're losing everybody. They're losing all their, except for their head coach. They lost Aaron Philo, their next starting quarterback. They're losing all their assistants. Buster Faulkner's in Florida.
And maybe you would know because, you reporters. Is he a hard guy to work for?
Not that I know of. I've never heard anything about Brent Key being a hard guy to work for ever. Like it's just, this is just a weird off season for them. Weird.
Because the Buster Faulkner move confused me.
Yeah.
And from a standpoint, if you're Florida, he doesn't make sense because, I'm here in Fort Myers and there's a lot of Florida boosters. Mm-hmm. They don't want the Haynes King offense at Florida. They want Steve Spurrier's offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not going to end well. And and they're going to pay Aaron Philo like $3 million
for a guy who's never been a start. Like he started a few games, but he's never been a full-time starter.
He's not that guy. Like I got to be honest with you. He's not DJ Langley.
No.
And they're losing I saw a couple guys in the transfer portal yesterday. There's one guy I really would love us to go after over there. Dallas Wilson.
Oh, yeah, he's great. We recruited him heavily out of high school, too.
Could you imagine if we had him and Baby Jesus together?
Dude, I mean, just cancel the season. Just we'll do like Notre Dame. No hypotheticals. We win the hypothetical championship with that receiving
That is
core.
so embarrassing. That is embarrassing. I mean, what kind of lessons are you teaching your kids? Take your ball and go home?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. This next month is going to be really exciting. I hope we can pull it off Saturday, and then now the next week, when are those games going to be? The day
Not
after
till
Christmas?
the 31st would be our next game, New Year's Eve. Yeah, there's gonna be a gap.
Oh,
11 days.
interesting. So then, okay, if you make the semifinals, then I guess the semifinals is on the 12th.
Is that when's the final? I don't know, man.
The
I see.
finals is on the ninth.
I try to go 1-0 every week. I'm not thinking about the championship game yet, Kelvin.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward because of the practice. You got to understand,
Yeah.
it's really throwing the kids off because you get into a rhythm and then it gets disturbed and you can't really get back into a rhythm because, okay, you go from your last game is what, the last week of November.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got a 3-week hiatus. Then you got another 2-week hiatus. You see what I'm saying? So you
Yeah,
don't
sure.
get
It's
into
no
the
rhythm.
pattern.
Yeah.
And if you look at the you look at the NFL playoffs, a lot of teams don't want the bye week because they get like the last month or so of the season, they get into a a groove, and you don't want to disturb that groove. But
Yeah.
if you got some injuries, like I think if we can win without playing Keontae Scott, I would not play him.
Yeah.
But I hear he's going to play.
Yeah, I think he's going to play. Yeah.
But he gets a little bit more rest time, though. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying we win this week, we don't play again until December 31st.
That's right.
Well, then that means if he doesn't get hurt and he plays, he should be full speed. And
Yeah, I would think
we should have everybody back. I mean,
Yeah.
have you looked at the injury report for us?
It doesn't come out until some point later today. It's going to come out today, but
I
I
heard
think he's going to
Fletcher.
be.
I didn't realize Fletcher was hurt. Oh
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, he was.
he
got-
was. He
yeah.
came back at the end of the season. So
I don't know, Alex. It's going to be a special year. I feel it. I mean, we're right there.
I love
I
it.
mean,
Well, we get our Kelvin cleanse again this week, and Kelvin, I can't thank you enough for the time, my friend. I can't thank you enough. Kelvin Harris, 3-time national champ at Ebony Lifestyles on X is where you find him.
yes.
I am Alex Donno. Yeah, we'll talk to y'all again next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome #1 Locked On Podcast Network. Your team. Oh yeah, go ahead. I
was going to say, man, I heard you got a new sponsor for Bruce's Depends and Jericho. I just want to congratulate you on those 2 sponsorships.
I'll send Bruce the message. It's all about the you, and we are your team every day.